Mwah, ha, 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 ha. Well, hello there, my children. Welcome back to another Hookster Talks. And I don't know why I'm so far away from the microphone, but I am. Yes, we are back live in your living room at 22 minutes past 9. Late again, late again. Here is TB the bear, TB the bear of TB, the bear of TB. Yes. Say hello, TB, to all your fans. Yeah, look at him go, look at him go. Huh. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all well. And unfortunately, I've got some bad news because tomorrow it's D-Day. Yes, it's D-Day tomorrow, 1st of April, and we're going to have the biggest April Fool ever. Yes, the gas and electricity is going up 50%. Yes. Wowzers me trousers, as I like to say. Anyway, hi Scott Barnes. Yes, very well, thank you, mate. Welcome to the stream. Yes, welcome to the stream. I finally got my tablet right next to me so I can see the messages as they come up straight away because I've had a lot of criticisms about not answering the messages. So there you go. I'm here. And welcome to the show, as Mr. Fail Race says every single episode. Great guy. I love Fail Race. If anyone wants to go check him out, go check him out because he's a fairly small YouTuber, it has to be said. Well, in the grand scheme of things, anyway. But very decent. Does a lot of GTA 5 stuff and lots of other stuff. But that's how he introduces every single episode. Hello and welcome to the show. Love it. Absolutely love it. Anyway, hope everyone is super smashing fine today. Yes. Let's just forget about everything that's going on outside of the world and just concentrate on the Dave bubble, which is right here. You can see, look, there's the edges of the Dave bubble. There, and there. And that's it. Don't worry about anything else, just the Dave bubble. That's all we need to worry about. He says. Right, let's adjust my chair. Oh, no, my chair's dropped down again. Come on, we need to straighten that. That's it. Oh, it's just so professional here. It really is. Just so professional. Oh, we got a hello to TB as well. A special TB wave for Scott. There he is. Look, we love you, don't we, TB? Oh, yes. Yes. Mwah. 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 Love my bear. I love my bear. Oh. Oh. Oh, come here, you big bad bear. Oh. 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 Tastes nutty. Tastes very nutty. Anyway, let's put the big bad bear up there. Hello, Mr. Will F1, the Dave bubble. Yes, that's me. I'm all in my own little bubble right here. Yes, don't worry about anything else outside of the bubble. Just concentrate on me. Concentrate on me. We'll stay in the Hookster bubble. That's a good idea. Stay in the Hookster bubble. Yes. As I say, this bloody chair is not moving today. That's it. Okay, just stay in the Hookster bubble. Don't worry about anything that's happening outside of that bubble. Now, if everything goes to plan, we are going to straight away cut to a special guest. In fact, a co-host of the programme for about the next 15 minutes. But it's bound to not go to plan, but we're going to try it anyway. So I'm just going to disappear myself just for a moment. But you can still see the beautiful Enterprise being attacked by the Borg. Yes, I am a Star Trek nerd. And let's see now if we can actually contact this person straight away. Now, I haven't rehearsed this, so it could turn out to be an absolute disaster, which is pretty much how things work on Hookster Talks. Yes, absolute disaster. But we're going to see if we can give it a go and see if it works straight away. It probably won't work straight away, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. So here we go. We have discussed this, of course. This isn't just blind, but it's whether it works or not. So here we go. My co-host for the next 15 minutes, hopefully, will be this guy. But we will find out. And don't get excited. Don't get excited. It's not the plant pot, okay? It's not the plant pot. Just thought I'd get that out right away. It's not the plant pot. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Can I make myself bigger? What does that do? Oh,
Is
makes
this
me smaller.
Hookster live? Is this Hookster live?
This is Hookster Live. Welcome to the... Hang on, I've got to put my headphones on.
Yeah.
Because I can't hear anything. Hello. And
Hello.
welcome to the show. My co-host is here for the next, I don't know, 15 minutes, something like that. Anyway, so the talking points. I want to talk about Will Smith before we do anything
Okay,
else.
hold on.
What?
Can I call
What?
you back in like? Can I call you back in 2 minutes? I saw your stream went live, and I'm just hooking up my microphone and everything.
Are you
I'll be ready in
hiding?
2 minutes.
Are you hiding your tissues, Dom? Yes, he's hiding his tissues. Everyone, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Last week he was caught with a load of tissues next to his computer. He swore it was for cleaning up the dog, but I don't know. I don't know if we can believe that. So anyway, so that went well, didn't it? Yeah. So there it is. Our co-host. He's only going to be on for 15 minutes though, because we're going to get rid of him then, because we want to get the other boys in as well. So yeah, it's just an experiment. So what should we talk about? Well, let's talk about Formula One and that bloody awful Grand Prix. No, it was pretty all right. Pretty all right. I've got to go through the comments a little bit later on and see if anyone actually won the top three, because I think someone may have done it. I don't know if they did or not, but we'll go through last week's broadcast and see whether anyone actually got it or not. In fact, while I'm waiting for Mr. Orlando to come back, I can have a look myself. On last week's stream. Now, what were the final results last week? I know it was Maxi Boy in first, wasn't it? Max was in first. In second, we had Charlie Boy, wasn't it? Charlie Boy. And third, it was Signs, wasn't it? Is that what happened? I can't remember. It was nearly a week ago now. Nearly a week ago. Let's take these headphones off a minute. I think it was. Let's have a quick look. I don't want to make a mistake, do I? Jeddah result. I'm pretty sure that's how the results were. I'll say it was 4 days ago. Jeddah, Max, Charles, and yeah, I was right. I thought I was right. Let's go and have a look at last week's stream, which was that one, and we will see.
He is over there, just upside down
Let's
in
go
our
to
crate.
the end of the stream. Then we can check all the messages. Pause that there. Thank you very much. Now let's check the messages underneath the stream first. We have got from Nicola. Welcome if you're watching, Nicola. She's got first Max. Who? Second, Carlos. Carlos and Charlie Boy in third. Well, you were very close, Nicola. Very close, but unfortunately, no cigar. Totally agree. So that's all the messages underneath. So let's have a look at the actual chat and see. Is my my microphone, my video is still running. So let's check underneath the chat and see if anyone got it right. Sure, someone must have got it right. Right, Dominic Orlando was the first one in the super chat, and he said, "Oh my God, what's going on? Hang on. Here he is. Except." Oh, blimey. Hang on. Oh, it's all going very well. You'll have to ring me back because... unfortunately, I forgot to switch my camera off. So I know you can still hear me, so I'm not going to switch the camera back on again until he rings back. He'll be back in a minute. Right, so Dominic Orlando said, first Verstappen. Yes. Second, Leclerc. Oh, third, Hamilton. No cigar for... No cigar for him. Let's ring him back. It's all going very well, as usual on Hookster Talks. Yeah, it's all going very well. Very well. All right, it should work now. It should work now. Here it goes. Here it goes. Hello, Matthew D'Souza. Welcome to the stream from me and Mr. TB Bear. Here's a special TB wave while we're waiting for the phone to get picked up. Yes! Come on, Orlando. Oh, God, he's just so slow. He really is. He's just so bloody slow. Hello? Hello? Oh, my God. What the hell's going on there? Oh, look. What's he doing now? Oh, this is unbelievable. I tell you, this is unbelievable. The show's getting worse every single minute. It's supposed to be a professional setup here. And, hello? Don't forget your tissues, Dom. Don't forget your tissues.
Goodness, so needy, so needy.
I sure am.
Oh, hello.
Hello?
Am I live?
You are live. Yeah. Now,
All right.
Now listen, Mr. Radio DJ, what's the next record you're going to play for us this evening?
All right, tonight we're going to be playing some smooth jazz on 102.6 Smooth Radio with the Hookster and Dom.
Now, tell me, why is it always smooth jazz at like 2 o'clock in the morning, you know? I want a bit of excitement at 2 in the morning, not smooth jazz.
Yeah, but what do you want to listen to? Polka music? Like, listen, smooth jazz at 2 a.m. is where it's at, my friend.
Okay, if you say so. Anyway, welcome finally to the show.
Thank you for having me.
That's okay. That's okay at all. Right, I'm just looking to see who won last week from the 1, 2, 3 vote for the base, and at the moment, no one's won it. No one's won it. Let's have a look. We've got Will F1. He said Leclerc, Verstappen. No. Sorry, Will, you failed there. Scott said, no, you failed. Sorry there. So I
think my top two were correct.
Your top two were correct, but you lost out with Hamilton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
be perfect.
Well, I know, but why? I just can't believe why you'd pick Hamilton, considering he's pretty much right down the field at the moment. Anyway, Helium and Trophy said Verstappen. Wait a minute. Leclerc. Oh, he said Perez for third. Sorry, you lost, Mr. Helium Trophy.
I think that's the closest.
That's the closest
vote.
Yeah, it is at the moment. Let's have a look. I think that's everyone. In fact, yes, it is. So well done for everyone for not winning once again. On a 1, 2, 3. Well done. You are awesome as always. So I've just been reading before I come on actually in the ERL chat of something about Lewis Hamilton, and he's really not with it physically and mentally right now. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, very sad to see.
It's definitely disappointing. It's pretty crazy to see, you know. But apparently since Baku, he's been struggling with stuff. So let's hope he sorts out his mental health and gets the help he needs and returns to top form. Because it's definitely odd seeing Mercedes so far down the order. And I mean, that's why I picked Lewis for my third place, because I thought Mercedes and him were going to sort it out. But clearly there's more deep-rooted issues.
Exactly. Well, they got quite a few weeks to sort it out before Australia, so hopefully they're going to do better. Now we'll return to Formula One in a minute, because I'm just really excited right now, because I want to talk about Will Smith. I really do, because I'm pumped for this. I really am pumped for this. Will Smith. So, what do you think about it?
Honestly, I was already sick of it after day one. I had no idea that it happened. And then I remember I went to the grocery store and people were talking about it in the checkout lane next to me. I went to my chiropractor's appointment and people were talking about it in the lobby. and I was like, what is like what's happening? Like, why is my entire community talking about some like Will Smith and Chris Rock?
Exactly.
What's
Exactly.
going on?
I
And
mean,
then I looked at the video, and like everything's viral, and I was like, oh, what an eyeball roller. But yeah, just a strange series of events, I suppose, is all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, just a strange series of events. But yeah, what's your take on it, Dave?
well, I look at it like this. I mean, I think it was a couple of hours after the incident. His son, I can't remember his name, but his son
Jaden.
Jaden, that's
Smith?
it. He tweeted out something like, "That's how we roll," or "That's how we do it," and I was just so disappointed. What kind of a role model is he's already put that into his son's mind that it's okay to do violence with no repercussions, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
This is the world we've come to right now. Now, I'm just going to flip it over for a minute. If I was Will Smith, I would probably have done the same thing. But what I would have done straight after is walk off, not taken the Oscar award, certainly not gone to a party. I would have just left. I would have, because it was an emotional reaction, and everyone has a time in their life when they have an emotional reaction. I haven't got a problem with that, but the problem was that he then thought it was okay to just go and sit back down in his seat again. And
yeah, I'm surprised security or really nobody did anything about it. Really.
Well, apparently he was asked to leave and he refused.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't read into it at all. I thought everything that was going on was nonsense, anyways. So, yeah, I didn't really look into it that much after that, to be honest, Dave. But yeah, just a crazy series of events, really.
It was, and that speech when he went up and took the award, that was quite possibly the most cringe thing I've ever seen from about the last 25 years. It was just, and the way he compared himself to the father of the Williams sisters, which I have to say that he has now come out and said, no, I because otherwise he's tarring him with the same brush that Will's basically saying, oh yeah, well, Richard must have hit the Williams sisters as well, and he's come out and said, no, I do not condone violence of any kind. So
I saw his apology statement that he doesn't, that his violence and was unacceptable and stuff like that. I saw a little bit of that.
Yeah, but everyone does that after the incident, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was kind of damage control after that.
Damage control, yeah. Just and the trouble is, it is a well-known fact that 75% of people, if the father is abusive, then that translates down to the siblings as well. It's a well-known fact.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's on national television all over the world. I mean, this has got more publicity than 36 days in Ukraine. I mean,
I was gonna say that too. It's crazy how everybody's talking about this.
I mean, Putin must have his head in his hands now, going, "What the hell have I got to do?" Because 2 seconds, Dom, 2 seconds. He just 2 seconds. He got more publicity than 36 days in Ukraine. I mean, it's crazy.
It's Western media, man.
Yeah,
it's the way it goes.
Now, I've made quite a few jokes in my time, and I've got in a little bit of trouble for making quite a few jokes in my time as well. But we won't.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, but we won't. But we won't go into that. But what I'll say is that that's exactly what it was. It was a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, I figured it was just Hollywood. It was a silly joke. It was a silly joke. But it's Hollywood culture that celebrities rag on each other and crack jokes at each other. And the initial shot of Will Smith laughing kind of, I figured, okay, whatever, the joke's going to roll off and whatever. But then it was weird, seeing him walk up 3-4 seconds later. And then, everything escalated after that. The rest is history. But Chris Rock's a comedian and he said a joke. Maybe it wasn't the most tasteful joke. But, it was just, everything went from 0 to 100 in 10 seconds. So.
Yeah. well, Will had to be the man of the situation because he obviously looked across at Jada and saw that she wasn't happy. Although,
Right.
why, I have no idea. You know, as other people have said, it's not like she's losing her hair because she's got cancer or anything like that. You know, yeah, it's a
Right.
it's
I've
a
had
medical
arthroplasty as a kid.
yeah.
Yeah. Did I tell you that, Dave? Like, I had arthroplasty. Like, I lost some of my hair on the top of my head
Yeah, exactly.
when I
Yeah.
was in like grade 8. So, I
And
mean, it
apa-
happens. It's not. Yeah.
And apart from that, I think she looked absolutely fine, you know, as she
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
No problem at all. So, yeah. But, you know, you go to the Oscars and you expect someone to go up there and take the piss out of you. That's what you go there for. And it's the only time that people like Chris Rock can actually, you know, take the piss out of these mega stars who sit up there in their mansions of God knows how many millions of pounds, you know? It's the only time they get a chance to have a go back at them. So, you know, you've got to expect that. And the thing is, Will Smith started as a rapper and a comedian long before he became an actor. And if you look at some of the things that he said, there's a video going around YouTube right now of him really taking the piss out of gay people. Now, thankfully, it was made in 1991, so you could get away with it back then. But if he...
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous that people are doing that too, like digging through years and years worth of, I honestly, Dave, I'm trying to just keep my mind off of it because it's just a toxic loop kind of thing, you know,
Yeah, just an
that I don't want to get into, but
absolute
it is what it is.
shit show. But, you know,
Yeah.
as I say, people do things emotionally all the time, and I haven't got a problem with that, as long as you accept the consequences of your actions, which is what he should have done. As I say, he should have just walked off. He should no way have gone up there and picked up an Oscar. I mean, just what in his head would even have made him think, oh, it's fine. I'll just, you know, he should have just walked off. He should have been escorted off by security, and then repercussions should have come to him later on, which I think, in all fairness, that Oscar should be taken away from him. I know they're saying it's not going to be, but I think because there's no point in fining him with money because he's got so much money. He's not even going to notice, you know, say, oh yeah, we're going to fine you $1 million. That's nothing to Will Smith, so it's not going to hurt him. What you need to do is hurt what he was really passionate about, which was that film.
Yeah.
So take away that Oscar, and that will be the end of it, I feel.
Yeah, the Moaning Yorkshireman in the chat says, remember, people are hailing him as a hero for actually attacking someone. The guy is a comedian who he hit. If you're offended by a comedian, then you need a serious look in the mirror. I think that wraps it up pretty nicely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There are no consequences for Hollywood people, says Josh. The Moaning Yorkshireman, welcome to the stream. Also, welcome Maddie D and Radios Have Heads.
Yes, welcome, Mr.
also
Radios
Mr.
Have Heads. He's one of my long-time sufferers for following me. But, yeah, you're right. There is no consequences for Hollywood people. Yeah, you know, it's just everything that they can do is they just get away with it. But I do feel that, I mean, if you look at Chris Rock, he was visibly shaken by that. And a story's now
I think he handled that really well.
He did handle it very well.
Yeah.
He was really shocked, and a story has now come out that Chris Rock, back in his youth, was seriously bullied. So I'm sure when that happened, he was getting flashbacks of, you know, his time of his youth when, as I say, he was getting bullied by people. So that's not. But yeah, he did handle that very, very well indeed, and he possibly came out with the greatest sort of joke ever in the midst of that, saying that that's quite possibly the greatest moment ever in TV. And I think he's right. It probably will be, not for the right reasons, but definitely, that is going to be, and that's going to haunt Will Smith, I think, for the rest of his career, if indeed he's got a career left, which seriously,
we'll see.
I doubt.
We'll
I
see.
think he's done a Mel Gibson, to be honest. Definitely.
Yeah, I think I'd be surprised if he got another movie deal after that.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
We will see. We will see. Right, anyway, I just wanted to rant about that because I was getting so pent up about Will Smith. But there you go. Right, back to the Formula One. Right, nobody, unfortunately, has got the top three Right, so don't anyone put your predictions in now because, of course, we got a little bit of a break before Australia.
Yeah.
Moaning Yorksman says Chris Rock absolutely smashed it, no retaliation, and just acted like a real man. Exactly. And I did like what Jimmy Kimmel said last night, because apparently Chris Rock did a show yesterday and the ticket prices went through the roof, and he said if this goes on much longer, he will actually have enough money to make G.I. Jane 2. which I thought was great.
Man.
But
that's funny.
And of course, at this show, Chris never even mentioned. He just mentioned the incident, but he said, "I haven't got any jokes or material about it yet because I've already done the jokes for this show. So you'll have to wait and come back to the next show before I do any jokes about it," which was even better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was great.
Well, I mean, hey, good for him. Good for him for his market value spiking up.
Yeah, I first saw Chris Rock in Lethal Weapon 4, and I thought he was really good, but I didn't. Well, not many people knew who he was, but he had that very quick witness about him back then. And I mean, Lethal Weapon 4 was years ago now, but yeah, that's when I first saw Chris Rock, and I was very impressed with his style of comedy. I say very quick-witted. So yeah, well done to Chris Rock. Well done. And I would have been the same as what Jim Carrey said. I would have woken up to the next morning and sued Will Smith for $200 million. I would have done, basically.
Holy
yeah,
hell.
Absolutely. He's not going to, but yeah, I would have done. But there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we've completely rinsed Will Smith. We'll leave him. I hear the Academy are going to do something, so we will find out. Not until the 18th of April though, so no rush, no hurry.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, it is the Oscars.
Oh boy.
It is the Oscars, as someone said last night. It takes them 4 hours to dish out 8 awards, so you can't rush them too much in a situation like this, can you? Unbelievable. No. So that's enough from Will Smith. We will get back to what the point of this channel is, which is F1 related content. And so this thing about Lewis Hamilton not being physically and mentally, I'll see if I can find it actually somewhere on here. Let's have a look. Bum, bum, bum. What will it be under? Lulu not feeling chipper. I need to put Lulu then. Lewis Hamilton. Not well. Do you think that'll come up? Now, while I'm looking for that, have you heard about Sebastian Vettel?
I have not, no.
Well, apparently, even though he's over the COVID now, he's very reluctant to even come back to Aston Martin. He feels...
Oh, geez.
Yeah, he feels the team are at the point of being a complete joke. Lawrence Stroll, he's now employed some really good people. One of them, I can't remember his name, but he was really prominent in F1. He's employed some really good people, but he's still the boss at the top. So, he needs to go home and let the team run itself. But he's got to be the one in charge. And apparently everything around that team is focused on Lance Stroll and Sebastian Vettel. What I've heard today is possibly not going to come back at all because of the state of the car. I mean, they've been going downhill since they went to Aston Martin, really, haven't they? I mean, the only reason they did so well in 2020 was because they copied the Mercedes, because they used the same wind tunnel as the Mercedes, and apparently someone was copying sketches down, in the wind tunnel.
It was inspiration. It was taken.
Yeah, that's a word you could use. Yeah, inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean, yeah, they probably didn't do enough of their own research and development to build off of that car, and so they became lost. And especially losing Otmar, it was like I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Mike Crack, the team principal, came in,
I love
and
that name. I love that name.
yeah, everybody loves that name. And I just don't know if they're growing, and it shows on track. I think they've hit a plateau, and I mean, like what, like you say, like the question I pose is like, what is their most valuable asset right now? And I mean, it's Lawrence Stroll. And I mean, if Lance Stroll is the guy you're going to go off of, I mean, Lance is pretty good, but I mean, he's not like an S tier championship driver, and they need the personnel to work on research and development for the car. Aston Martin is just behind, Dave. They're just behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I have found the article. It says Lewis Hamilton has revealed he has struggled mentally and emotionally and said it is a constant effort to keep going. The 7 times Formula 1 champion. Oh, thank you. I will agree to cookies. Shut up! Oh, I hate these websites. I really do. Every time you click on one, it wants you to accept cookies. It's like we're stupid little children and we can't make our own minds up, isn't it? Anyway. The 7 times Formula 1 world champion who finished
maybe
10th.
I can actually...
Carry on.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, maybe before you read it out, I was going to read out some comments.
Yeah, go on then. Go for the comments.
Yeah, the Moaning Yorkshireman says, Stroll team a joke? Never. He also says, look at what happened to Williams when Stroll joined. Now, on that point, yeah, I mean, Williams took in Lance Stroll to obviously get funding from Lawrence Stroll. But he actually didn't do too terribly in the Williams. I remember in 2017, he qualified front row at Monza. Mind you, it was a wet qualifying, and the Mercedes engine was a rocket back in 2017. I believe he was alongside Felipe Massa as a teammate. So it wasn't terrible, but yeah, like he was making a lot of mistakes. It was his rookie year. But he did get some like surprise podiums and stuff. Yeah, like Lance Stroll, he's not terrible. Like he can get like a random podium once in a while, but yeah, he does make quite a lot of mistakes. Well, I say Williams was worse off getting Lance Stroll? I don't think so. But were they going to grow around him? I mean, without his money, definitely not. With his money, maybe a little. But yeah, he's let's put it this way. Lance Stroll is a very, 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 very good pay driver. Probably the best pay driver.
Oh yeah,
in the grid. Yeah.
As a driver though, he's not much cop.
Josh says he qualified P5 and then 3 cars ahead got grid penalties, including 2 Red Bulls. Oh, false front. Oh, okay. That I didn't know. I thought he actually qualified P2 on pace, so he qualified P5. Okay. What about 2018 when Sorokin beat him most right? Really? Sergei Sorokin beat him? I thought Sorokin was behind him. I remember that Williams lineup was horrible. Sergei Sorokin and Lance Stroll in the Williams, and it was just money city for Williams. Like they were just cashing in and not doing anything on the track, probably developing next year's car.
Yeah, that's what I like about Haas right now, because they took 10 million quid off was it that Ukarali or whatever it was, the Russian company.
Yeah.
Got rid of them and got rid of Marzi Spin as well, and now they're doing better than ever. I just think it's brilliant.
Checo is a pay driver, even. Well, yeah, I guess Checo has talent though. Like Checo has like definitive talent, and like he got sponsors, and so like yes, he's technically a pay driver and he brings sponsorship, but he earned those sponsorships through good driving. Matty D in the chat actually brings up a topic that I want to talk about later. But sorry, let's get back to that article that you were talking about Lewis Hamilton.
Right, okay. So, the 7-time Formula One world champion who finished 10th at last Sunday's Saudi Arabian Grand Prix made the admission via a post on his Instagram story on Thursday. I just love these stars and their Instagram stories. It's just, in it. It's the same as Will Smith, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry I hit you, Chris. It has been such a tough year already.
Well, let's hear what he has to say.
Yeah. It has been such a tough year already with everything that is happening around us, said the 37-year-old. Hard some days to stay positive. I have struggled mentally and emotionally for a long time. To keep going is a constant effort, but we have to keep fighting. We have so much to do and to achieve. Hamilton, who has won more F1 races than any other driver in the sport's history, is contesting his 16th season on the grid. Last year, he was controversially beaten to the title by Max Verstappen in the last race. Yeah, well, Lewis Hamilton is always a strange one to me. And the way he suddenly comes out with these statements as well, I just don't understand him at times. I really don't, you know. Being a professional sportsman,
it's hard.
why would you?
Sorry, yeah.
Why, you know, being a professional sportsman, why would you sort of lay yourself out like that and say, you know, I'm not doing? Is this just like a cover up so that when people think when he's only finishing 5th or 6th that it's because he's so tired emotionally and physically, or is it just because of the car?
I don't think it's a cover up. I mean, if the guy says he's struggling, you got to take his word for it. I mean, maybe that's why he is struggling. I mean, George Russell finished decently in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and maybe he's struggling with some really tough shit. Also, if you remember, like the end of last season's Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, like he looked exhausted.
Yeah.
And I think that might be one of my dear friends, Joe Plant. You probably heard of him.
No, never heard of
he said
him, no.
that probably like he's also suffering from a lot of fatigue due to the fact that he got COVID, you know, and maybe there's some long-term respiratory effect that has taken toll on his body. And, you know, when your physical health diminishes, so does your mental health. And yeah, you know, I think him speaking out is a step forward. You know, I think it's better than him just keeping it to himself and leaving everybody wondering what the heck's going on with Lewis Hamilton. So, I mean, I wish him all the best. I hope he gets the help that he needs. And I mean, we'll see where he goes from here. Hopefully he goes up back to the top of the order where he's been fighting for the past, 10 years, maybe more. So.
Yeah. We wish him well. Anyway, JW97 in the chat says, don't know if you've already mentioned it, thoughts on Viva Las Vegas. Yes, of course, Las Vegas is returned to Formula One in 2023. Dom, your thoughts?
Yeah, JW97 saying, personally, 3 races is greedy in the USA. So that's the topic. Is 3 races in one country too much?
Yes.
Yes, it is. This is all for money, of course. I mean, it's all in bold letters that, you know, this is all about money and westernizing F1. I mean, that's why we have Drive to Survive, which, by the way, Drive to Survive has had terrible, terrible ratings for season 4 compared to like season 1 and 2. Yeah. But that's another topic in and of itself. I won't get into it now.
I've never seen a second of it.
I watched the first episode of season 1, Dave, and I was like, this isn't for me. You know, if you watch F1, like it's nice to see some things behind the scenes, but season 4 is now just mostly about drama and it's like fake stuff. To worry about it.
Yeah, if you're a real F1 fan, I don't think you enjoy it. If you're basically an idiot, you know, these people that follow F1 but they haven't got a clue anything about it, then they probably enjoy Drive to Survive and they think it's great and brilliant. But yeah, it's not for me, unfortunately. But yeah, 3 races in America is way too many. We need 6 races at Silverstone to make up for it, because you damned Americans, you just leave it now. I know you're Canadian, but you're very, very close to America. That almost makes you American.
Almost. Yeah, you know, they to even it out, they need a race at Silverstone. They need one at Brands Hatch. They
Yep.
need another
Donington
one at
Park.
Smetterton. Yeah,
Donington Park.
Donington Park. Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
In
just
fact,
throw in all of the.
In fact, let's just turn the championship into a touring car championship and be done with it. That's what we need. Get rid of the Formula One cars.
Yeah,
back
open
to
wheel
touring
touring
cars.
car championship. There you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's what we
You
need.
can call it like F3 or something. You know.
Yes.
Anyways, yeah. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes, 16% for season 4. Yeah,
Wow, that
it's
high.
terrible.
That high.
Matty D says America taking over. It pretends to be shocked. Yeah, exactly. It's just Americanizing F1 at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of the track layout, Dave? I thought it was pretty plain vanilla. How about you?
Yeah, it is. It's just another boring circuit, and this is the problem I'm having with Formula One now. I mean, the later on I'm getting into my all seasons career, the less I'm enjoying it because of the tracks. You know, because when I started, all the tracks were great. 2004, 2005, 2006. They were classic tracks in all those 3 years. They really were. But as the years go on, the tracks just seem to get worse and worse. And they're just all boring squiggles now. Street circuits are getting ridiculous. The whole championship is going to be full of street circuits in about 10 years' time.
No, I mean, I don't have a problem with street circuits, but it just feels so forced. You know what I mean? It just feels so like now with the street circuit in Miami and another street circuit now in Vegas. It just, especially the Vegas one, it's going to look amazing on TV. But the actual racing, I mean, it's just straight lines. It's just going to be DRS passing.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, DRS passing is a very important topic that I want to talk about with you a little bit later.
Okay.
Maybe after this, I want to dive into the Saudi GP if you already haven't. With your viewers
I haven't gone into the Saudi GP yet. So
okay, good. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so Josh says we need one in Germany. I agree with you, Josh. I agree with you.
Yeah. There's so many good tracks in Germany. Like Hockenheim or Nürburgring GP needs to be there. It needs to be there. Yeah. Hockenheim, I mean, people have been screaming for Hockenheim for like them since 2019, I think was the last time we ran there.
Yeah,
so,
I love Hockenheim. It's a brilliant track. And yes, I do agree with you, Josh. It is more proof that they're merging Formula E with Formula One with street circuits. Yeah, it's definitely going that way.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like the Tokyo R246 from the old Gran Turismo games. I presume that's the circuit.
Oh man, I love Tokyo Route 246.
So did I. I love the.
No, we're such hypocrites, Dave. We're such hypocrites. We're talking, we love Route 246. Oh, but we hate street circuits in Formula One. Oh man, we're so hard to please, F1 fans.
I know.
Man.
But
Scott
I did love that circuit.
In the chat.
I did love that circuit. I love the. Wasn't the Tokyo R246? Wasn't that the one with the Sony headquarters right in the middle of it? You used to drive past. Was that the one?
Maybe.
Yeah, sure.
There
was.
Yeah, there was some corners I really loved on Route 246. There was that sweeping right-hander that was really nice, and then there was like followed by a double apex left, and then it went through like a sweeping straight with like trees on either side, and there was like painted concrete. It was really nice. Really nice. I enjoyed Route 246 and Gran Turismo 6. I drove that track a lot.
Anyway, we must leave our love affair with the Gran Turismo series. And yes, let's move on to the topics you wanted to discuss. Let's
get to the meat and potatoes.
Let's go to the meat and potatoes. Yeah. The last race. Go for it.
All right. Yeah. So, we talked about our top 3 and how nobody got it right. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Sorry, my screen just went away here.
Oh,
there we go.
JW97 in the chat says yes, Dave. So I presume that's a yes to the Sony building being in the Tokyo R246.
Yeah.
Right, carry on.
Oh yeah, Scott Barnes says the Hockenheim or Nürburgring. I adore them both. Phenomenal courses. I agree. Yeah. So the Saudi GP, Max Verstappen with a big win, an incredible battle with Charles Leclerc, and Geez, who picked up third place? I can't even remember who picked up third place
Carlos
because
Sainz. Carlos Sainz.
Carlos Sainz. Yeah, the battle with the top two is so interesting that you forget the rest of the field.
Yep.
Let's talk about the battle between Verstappen and Charles.
Yep.
Because there was a very interesting point very late in the race, and this is a topic that you and I have discussed before.
Mm-hmm.
They're going side by side, a few laps, they're swapping positions and stuff, and obviously the shape of the track, there's before the start finish line, there's that one corner, and there's DRS zones on either side of that corner. So there's a DRS zone going around that long sweeping left-hander. Then there's the final hairpin, and then there's another DRS zone.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw a couple of times, I think it happened twice. Like there was the one time where it was very pronounced and very obvious what they were doing. But as Max Verstappen was going to pass Charles was like, okay, go ahead. I want to be behind going into the final corner so I can get that juicy DRS going down the front stretch. And Verstappen was like, no, you go first. You go first. And they're both slowing down.
Yeah.
And they're slowing down. And the detection line gets closer and closer. And then they both lock up. Like they both almost come to a dead stop trying to get this DRS.
Yeah.
And I think Charles in the end got it. And he was able to pass Verstappen again. And Dave, I'm kind of glad that it happened because it addresses a big elephant in the room when it comes to F1 in the modern era. And I'll pose this question to you.
Yeah.
Is DRS too powerful? Take it away.
Well, my first answer to that, as regarding the DRS, basically is what we saw on Sunday, and that is that really racing? Waiting to get to a detection zone just so you can then go past the car a little bit further down the road. Is that really what racing's all about? In my mind, no, it's not. But that's what we got. Yeah. Unfortunately, I was very glad that they were getting rid of DRS. They've now gone against that, and we've still got it. I'm very upset about that. Because I thought the whole point of these new cars was not to have DRS, but the FIA, being a bunch of pussies that they are, they backed down, and now we have got DRS. And this is the result. And I think this is going to continue on for the whole of the season. We're going to reach, points of DRS detection, and they're going to slow down. And I think at one point, one of them's going to have an accident. It's not going to be anything serious, but one of them's going to go into the back of the other one because it's obvious.
It'll be like a Hamilton-Verstappen incident at Jeddah.
Yeah.
Again, there's a good chance that it'll happen. Like there's a lot of tracks with, and like you said, the way the cars are built now that they're able to follow more closely to each other, and that they have DRS, I mean, having DRS, especially now with the new regulations, is just going to be so imperative to getting in front. And it's going to be tough to lose anybody if they have DRS behind you. So I'm trying to think of what tracks it particularly could be dangerous at. Like there are tracks where like DRS is going to be strong and obviously people are going to want to get it.
Yeah.
But maybe like Baku could potentially see an accident DRS related because there's the really long DRS straight on the front stretch. And then there's the one, like you take a left-hander 90 degrees. There's a detection zone there. So we could see some mind games there. Yeah. And then there's the 90-degree corner that leads to the other DRS straight. Maybe at Baku, we might see some funny business.
Well, Baku is always a bit of a disaster anyway, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're always something goes on because of the really, really high speeds going down that straight. And then, of course, you've got those really tight turns. You've got the castle section where, it's such a funny track to set your car up because you really need higher downforce for the turns, but you need max speed for the straights. And so you've got to always compromise your setup so that it's sort of, in the middle, basically. Yep. So Baku always produces something. I mean, I think there's been a safety
Yeah.
car every year apart from the first year at Baku, so that's bound to happen again, I do believe. And yeah, with this sort of super boost that you're now getting, because obviously they are getting a lot of boost, otherwise they wouldn't be slowing down to try and reach this zone. So that obviously is a sort of super boost that they're getting now. So yeah, I think it's going to bite them in the bum at some point in the season. I'll say one of the cars is going to just smack straight into the back of the other one. And Josh in the chat says, we need to bring back Yin Yang Wing Wang, don't give a bloody damn. that was the Korean circuit, I do believe, wasn't it? Yeah. Was it Korea? Yin Yang, yeah, Yin Yang Wing Wang. That was the Korean circuit, yeah. I quite agree, Josh. We need to bring that back. That was a pretty well, it was playing it in the computer games. I don't know what it's like in real life, but that was a pretty decent circuit, I have to say. Josh says
now for solutions. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
Go on, carry on.
I was gonna say solutions for DRS. My idea is to make the DRS flap much, much thinner. DRS should only give you like an extra 2 to 3 mile an hour boost, not like the 7-8 that it gives these F1 drivers. Because then the closing speed is dangerous too if somebody gets it. The passes are too easy on the straights. Like DRS, if you get it, should allow you to pull up alongside a car going into the next corner, ideally. If it's a long straight, it should help you pass. But yeah, I just think like the difference between getting DRS and not getting DRS being like 7 to 8 miles an hour difference is too much. They need to just make the flap a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Maddie D suggests remove DRS for long straight tracks like Saudi, China, and Mexico. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because then the overtaking's too easy on tracks like that when you get DRS.
I also noticed that in like the mock-ups, the prototypes for this new car way back in 2019 or whatever it was before they're about to come out, the actual flap when it was open was like tiny little flap, and now you look at the cars going down now, the whole of that wing flap seems to come down.
It's a big gap.
It basically looks like they're driving with no rear wing on the car because there's so much of that flap now drops down. It's unbelievable. Especially on, I think it's the Mercedes. I think that's the worst one of all. The whole of that flap just comes down and it's like, what the hell's going on?
It's like 3 times the size of it. It's like 3 times the size of your mail slot that's in your front door. You know, it's like it's supposed to be like a little paper slide through it, and it's like there's a big, you can fit a dog through there. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, hopefully I mean, I don't see them changing it this year, but hopefully for next year they make some changes to nerf DRS a little bit.
Get rid of it. That's what I need.
Silly. It's a little bit silly when the drivers are trying to be the last across a line. It kind of goes against the fundamentals of racing. Let me just see what else is going on in the chat. The Moaning Yorkshireman says, the problem is the cars can follow a lot closer, which is great, but they still can't overtake. They've kept the DRS for the street circuits because there's no longer proper corners to do a regular overtake. Yeah, there's especially, well, Jeddah has like 1, 2, like really only 2 or 3 corners that you can actually make a move. Turn 1, the last corner, and actually I think that's it really, because the rest of them are like medium speed sweepy corners. So yeah, it's tough. He also says circuits like Monza, Shanghai, Spa will be able to show everyone how you can overtake without the need for DRS. Yeah, like Spa's a great example. After the Eau Rouge Radeon complex, I
can't wait for that. I can't wait to see that bit actually.
Yeah.
See what happens there. That should be very interesting indeed, as long as it's not raining.
Scott, yeah, well, yeah, don't get me started. Minx could be trouble with DRS, spot, and RB ring. That's what Scott Barnes says. The Moaning Yorkshireman says, you can have long straights to set up and overtake with DRS, but there's braking zones where you could easily be re-overtaken even without DRS. Yeah. Dave, do you know when F122 game will be
Ah.
out? Probably in August, no?
I'm glad you mentioned that, Matt, because I am a little bit worried right now because tomorrow is the 1st of April. In fact, in a few hours. And there has been, because obviously being this F1 Games PlayStation, my channel, I do check up on these things. There has been absolutely zero news about the new game. Now, last year, there was tiny little snippets coming out around about the middle of March. So I'm a little bit concerned, especially with what I've been hearing about troubles at Codemasters. Yeah, there's been absolutely nothing. Hopefully, we should get at least something in the next week, but it's not very good news at the moment for the new game, I don't think. But then, of course, don't forget, this is the first game entirely made by EA Sports. Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
JW97 brings up a really important note in the chat. Kind of a piece of news that was quickly forgotten about, swept under the rug by the F1 and the Saudi government. Should they go back to Jeddah after what happened on the Friday? Remember that?
Yep.
The attack?
Yep.
Like kind of relatively close to the circuit. And you know what? I think I read that so yeah, there was a lot of drivers that were against it, but between the FIA, the Saudi government, and security, they're all like, no, it's fine. We'll sweep everything under the rug. And they were kind of backed into a corner to no, we need to do this Grand Prix. And yeah, I mean, it's tough to say what happened behind the scenes, but I mean, I'm going to make an assumption, which is dangerous, but I'm going to make an assumption that the drivers really didn't have an option to say no. I think there was just too much money involved and too many forced hands. Yeah, and luckily nothing happened. But yeah, what a scary situation.
Yeah, you always know when something is up, when the meetings go on till about 4 o'clock in the morning. You always know that, there's a very good reason why that is, because people can't decide on what they're going to do. But this, unfortunately, is the state of the world right now. You can have missiles flying above your head, and it's okay. We'll still race. It's not a problem. Just how have we got to this situation? Really, honestly, how have we got to? I don't know. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about money, man.
It's all about money. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we go back to Russia next year. To be honest, I really wouldn't. It's just looking that way at the moment. It really is, The
Moaning Yorkshireman says, "Oh no, I'm absolutely devastated. A shite game might not get released. I roll."
know. Me too, Josh.
Hey, you know what? F122. Hopefully, it's the new F1 2020 or F1 2017. 2017 was great. The jump from 16 to 17. Man, that was really good.
Yeah.
Cars were so easy to handle in 2017.
Yeah.
And then in 2018, they were okay. 2019, they got horribly wrong. 2020 was good. And then now they've got it horribly wrong again in 2021. So who knows? Maybe the F1 games, they get it right one year, they get it wrong the next year. They get it right one year, they get it wrong. So we're going to land on a good year, hopefully.
Hopefully. I mean, I've said this before, but 2021 is the only game I'm playing right now where I'm literally going, oh God, I've got to go and record a video for this. Now, it never happens. When I'm doing the all seasons, I'm like, yeah, come on, it's time to, I'm ready, I'm pumped, I'm ready to go. But this is oh, for fuck's sake, no, please. It's just horrible. It's just really horrible, and 2021 just makes no sense to me whatsoever. They changed all the car settings, so everything's in reverse. It's like, I don't know, it's like a crazy person made the game. It really is. It's like, that's what it seems to me.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense. And the handling and the way, you can jump off a curb and you're spun round for 99 times. Oh, I mean, I used more flashbacks in 2021 than I've used in possibly all the other games I've ever played. Pretty much. I think I was doing one at Portugal. I did one at Portugal, and you've got a lot of undulations at Portugal. It goes up, goes down, whatever.
Yeah.
And there's one where you go straight up over a hill. Literally every lap, I spun out, and that's a flash.
Yeah, I heard of that problem. I heard of that problem that Portimao is like really, really difficult to drive on the new
Yeah,
game.
it is. It's just
So.
horrible. It really is. And it's just, and when you're editing it, it just takes so much longer because every single time you got, let's cut that bit out. And, it's just chronic. It really is.
Scott Barnes in the chat said, my favorite PS4 F1 game is 2016, to be honest. I think it's underrated.
Yeah, I did like that.
I really liked F1 2016. It was a little harder to drive than some of the other ones, but yeah, 2016 was really nice.
Unfortunately, us pad users, we had to have the traction control on full for that game because you couldn't drive it on.
It was super loose.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, tire wear was really aggressive too. I struggled with tire wear in that game. I'm just trying to go through some of the other comments.
I like that one. Josh says one of the teams should have just stuck some orange juice and a few hundred lateral flow tests so they were positives and they cancelled the invite. Yeah, they would have done. Someone's actually said that the reason Sebastian Vettel didn't come back is because he was getting a marker pen and putting a red line on his COVID test to make sure it was still positive.
Oh man. Let's see. I haven't played F1 2020 in about 6 months, says Matty D. Yeah, I got F1 2021. I played it like 3 times, and I just didn't have any interest anymore. I regret buying it. JW97 in the chat also says, never touched it. I'll stick to Gran Turismo and Grand Prix 4. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
indeed.
It was only out like 6 months ago. Yeah.
I know.
But
ridiculous. I'll tell you that game is deader than Corduroy right now. I'll tell you.
2021, yeah. There's probably more people playing 2020.
Oh yeah, and the fact is that the resale value for 2020 is about twice what 2021 is. You can get 2021 for about £12 over here right now. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
Another thing I want to talk about in the Jeddah race that Matty D brought up a little bit earlier. Oh, the Canadians. Oh, the Canadians, man.
Poor Canadians.
The first, man, it is tough being a Canadian F1 fan. You just can't root for your drivers because, oh man, like, yeah. I mean, Latifi crashing hard twice in a weekend, and then in Bahrain he did horribly. Stroll's been doing bad too. A DNF in
has he? That's a surprise.
In Jeddah. Yeah, it's just, man, the Canadians, just the basement dwellers of F1. Oh man, Villeneuve must be just absolutely rolling.
Yeah, but Stroll's doing badly because Sebastian Vettel isn't there. That's why he's doing badly, because he's got he needs that input from a I'm going to say this, I know you're going to get offended, but he needs that input from a professional driver.
No, yeah, hey, I'm not going to argue that, yeah. I mean, like I said before, oh yeah, JW97, yeah, she's away, she's just readjusting herself. She's kind of giving me a side-eye look right now. Latifi is a melt. Yeah, man, he's just been, I think he's the worst on the grid. Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh man, and he ruined Checo's race. Oh yeah, I was rooting for Checo to win the Saudi Grand Prix, and Latifi crashed at the absolute worst time. Like the worst time. Oh man, and now everybody's making fun of Latifi because he causes dramatic outcomes in the race, and like, oh man. Every time Latifi crashes, Max wins. It's just, man, it's just not what he needs. Yeah. It's not what he needs. I think something broke on Latifi's car, though. I will say that. In like, if there's only a shred of defense that I can give him, his crash in the race, and even his team radio was played on international broadcast. He got that snap of oversteer. Like coming out of his accident was coming out of the final corner.
Yeah.
So he's turning, and then he got like a snap of oversteer for some reason, like on exit. And then like he went to correct it, and the car just took off to the wall.
Yeah.
Like So and he said after on the radio, like, I have no idea what happened, which makes me think something broke.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't apologize. He didn't say, "Oh, sorry guys," like he did in Abu Dhabi when he hit the wall. But yeah, man, just something's up with that Williams car.
Yeah.
Alexander Albon hasn't been doing terrible though. Like, I think he had a relatively good qualifying in Bahrain. So yeah, it's just Latifi, and now he doesn't have Mazepin to hide behind as the worst driver on the grid. So
Exactly.
hopefully Latifi can shape things up and just keep the car on the road, man. Just keep the car on the road and cross the finish line. Oh man,
yeah, I'm so upset about Williams right now. It just, I've been a fan since 1988,
Yeah.
and to see where they are right now, it's just very upsetting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Josh says the same thing. He's got nowhere to hide now that Mazepin's gone. JW97 says, yeah, like my dog always gives me an evil look. Yeah, she gives me a little side eye sometimes. Oh, the Moaning Yorkshireman actually correcting me. He said, no, nothing did. Team confirmed it. He went on the throttle too soon. He just pitted Colton. Oh, okay, so it was driver error. Okay.
That's worse.
He had no idea why he crashed in qualifying either. That was the same thing. Yeah, well then, I mean, I can't give him a shred of defense then.
No.
I've been corrected, and man, Canadian F1 drivers right now, oh man, not fun. Not fun. What else can we talk about?
You know what they need? They need a good smack from Will Smith. That's what they need.
Yeah, exactly.
That will sort them out.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Let me just go on the F1 website. I do want to check the standings as they are right now.
Yeah.
Valtteri's
beating Lulu.
Oh yeah, holy cow. Driver standings. Here we go. So yeah, we do still have Charles in first place with 45 points. Carlos Sainz in second with 33. So it's a Ferrari 1-2 in the driver's standings. Obviously, they're taking the constructors right now. Oh, Josh in the chat says, would you prefer to have no Canadian drivers on the grid than what you have now? No. I mean, I'd rather have like one or two Canadian drivers, like when Lance Stroll got that pole position back in, I believe it was 2019 at Istanbul, Turkey. That was exciting. Like it made my local paper. Like it was really exciting stuff. I mean, I say local paper, but it's like Toronto paper, which is like a major city in Canada. So,
but wouldn't you prefer two decent Canadian drivers?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. But I mean, it is what it is right now. But it's nice to have some representation. But yeah, and the thing is, Latifi is from Toronto. Like I think he grew up like half an hour away from where I live. So like it's like you want to cheer for the guy, but man, it's just not great. Not great.
It's like cheering for a guy with leprosy. When his arms are falling off, you go, oh, I still want to support you, but that arm, I just can't get past the arm,
Yeah. JW97 in the chat says, to be fair though, they have got the new tire warming rules, so maybe Latifi isn't comfortable with that yet. Yeah, and actually we did see some drivers struggle coming out of the pits going into turn 1 at Bahrain. So yeah, it's pretty tough. And with the new tire rule, speaking of which, I would have thought the overcut would have been a lot stronger this year. Like I thought at Bahrain, the guy to pit first would have been worse off because the tires were so cold coming out of the pits. And like you saw that in sector 1, especially the first turn. But I guess that's not the case. I guess the undercut is still good enough to pull off.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Here's one for your ego, Dom. Here's one for your ego. Matt says, okay. I think Dom would honestly do a better job than Latifi with a better practice.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I could trust myself to drive an F1 car. I mean, man, if I ever got into a race car, that would be so much fun. But It's just carts at my local arcade for now. That's about as close as I can get to real racing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and good old Gran Turismo 7.
Good
That's,
old Gran
yeah.
Turismo 7. What on
That's about
earth
as close
happened
as you
there?
can get right now. Yeah.
They royally
Took
made
him a-
some mistakes there, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh, Valtteri's Q3 streak is still on, by the way. Oh, that's incredible. 103 races. Yeah. And you know what? I don't expect that to go away. Like, the Ferrari engines are just so good. They're just so good right now. And, like, the Ferrari powered cars are just excelling right now, especially Haas. I mean, I thought at the beginning of the season that, like, Haas and Alfa Romeo was going to be at the bottom, but
Yeah.
I thought Alfa Romeo was still gonna outperform Haas. So I'm shocked that Haas has kind of leapfrogged Alpha. Let me go to
Yeah. I was.
the constructors. Yeah, Haas is in front of Alfa Romeo
Yeah.
by 3 points actually. So like that's gonna be an interesting battle throughout the season. But sorry, back to the original point that JW said in the chat. Yeah, I expect Valtteri to keep that thing going.
Oh,
Like he can
yeah,
drag that.
I was so surprised. I really was about Huss. I mean, after all the troubles they
Yeah.
had with losing all that sponsorship and getting rid of Marcy Spin, not that that was any problem to them because, you know, he should
Yeah.
never have been there in the first place, to be honest. But, you know, with all that, it takes away something from your team. And, you know, you have to start again with new people. You have to get them up running again. And, of course, the sponsorship, losing that was huge. And that was
Yeah.
like £10 million or whatever, $10 million. That
Yeah.
can't be underestimated to a team where especially where there's a budget caps, I think of 45 million. That's like almost a quarter of your budget gone out the window, and yet they have just completely said. I mean, Gunter Steiner's probably just said, fuck it, let's just race the cars. I can't be bothered with this shit, and
Yeah.
that's what's happening.
And now look at them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unbelievable. I'd like to
now
see
they're
how
sitting P5 in the constructors.
Yeah, I'd like to see whether they can hang on to that sort of halfway because I'm not quite sure they're going to have the cash for development of the car. But if they can just hang on for the first half of the season, that would be such a thing to see. If they can, you know, stay up there, really will.
Mm-hmm. Incredibly, Mercedes is still P2 in the championship by 1 point over Red Bull.
Yeah.
But Alpine
by luck.
Yeah, by luck. Yeah, I will say that. But hey, reliability, you know, Lewis Hamilton said it on the radio after the Bahrain Grand Prix. Reliability is important.
Exactly.
Alpine's looking strong this year. They're sitting P4 in the constructors. Oh, holy cow. Actually, wait, before I talk about that, there was something that Matt said. Matt asks a question. Do you see Mercedes winning more than 3 races this season?
Wow.
I guess let's phrase the question this way. Do you think Mercedes will win more than 3 or will they win less than 3 races, including 0?
Personally,
I honestly think they're going to win less than 3, but I'd like to hear your take.
Yeah, well, my personal opinion is I don't think they're going to win any at all this season. Not one single race. Because last year they only had the Red Bulls to contend with. This year they've now got Ferrari in the mix as well. So I just can't see it unless we get a lucky win for them. You know, like 4 cars go out from the leaders or whatever. I just can't see Mercedes unless they get on top of this problem that they've got with the car that they keep mentioning about the porpoising. I can't see them winning a single race this year, and I think they're going to finish 4th and 5th and 6th for the whole of the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think George Russell will win 1 or 2, and I think that's it.
Possibly.
I think like George Russell and Lewis Hamilton will get some podiums here and there, but Matty D in the chat says Hamilton has never had a season without a win, and that's true, and that's a crazy statistic. But yeah, I think who knows? This might be the first season we see Lewis Hamilton not take the top step. That's going to be a shocker.
Okay, let's. Josh has just done an interesting thing about Gran Turismo. Actually, I just want to go off topic for a moment and talk about that. He's saying about how unrealistic it is with with no damage model, and that's one thing that I was so surprised about, that there's no damage in the game. I remember, I'm sure it was GT5. Was it GT5? They had some kind of visual damage. I'm sure they did. I remember it. There was
Now.
There was no actual like steering damage or anything like that. But I'm sure visually you could see like dents on the panels of the cars. I'm sure it was. And now fast forward to like what, 10 years later after GT5, and there's nothing. And I was just like, are you serious?
No, correction. There is actually damage. The way they do it, so like there's no real like visual damage. It's not like Wreckfest that has like a great damage model and like great visual physics for damage and stuff like that. Visual physics isn't a thing. Like great visuals and physics for damage. Gran Turismo, the way they do it is like if you hit a wall, you have like a little heads-up display in the bottom corner of your screen. And like it shows your bumper, it shows your four wheels, it shows your rear bumper, and they'll blink red if you like hit into like, let's say you go into the back of somebody, like your front bumper will flash. There'll be no visual damage other than like some like aesthetic scratches. And the handling will change a little bit. So like
I'm with you.
It's very minimal, like in terms of like the depth to the damage and stuff like that. And there's even a setting to have damage on weak or like damage on full. If damage is on weak, it repairs itself after like 30 seconds. I mean, it does affect the handling enough where like you'll have to pit. But the problem is, like in daily sport races, and like in most F1 races that people do, like they turn damage off. Like they, and the contact model is the only thing I have a problem with. What do I call it? I call it their contact model is like Newton's cradle, if you know what that is. It's all the balls that are
I know,
like hanging by a string, and then you knock them like this.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the physics model feels like in Gran Turismo when you make contact with another car, and I just despise it. It's silly. Like I think the F1 games, making contact with another car, like it like transfers energy better to both cars.
Yeah.
Rather than like you slam into the back of someone and then they go flying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just makes for bad racing too, when like a game like almost rewards like dive bombers and rammers and stuff like that, because like nothing happens to their cars.
Yeah.
And you just get sent into oblivion. So that's my only disappointment with the Gran Turismo physics and stuff like that. The tire model and the tire wear are a lot better. They're not perfect. They're a lot better than what they were in GT Sport, and I'm actually really impressed. The adaptive weather is fantastic. I will say that for Gran Turismo. But yeah, I mean, that's all I really have to say about the Gran Turismo series, or GT7.
Okay, well, we're almost out of time, Dom, so let's read the rest of the comments out before we go.
Do you want to read some, or do you want me to read it?
No, you read it.
All right, let's see. Scott Barnes, actually Matty D in the chat says, first non-Mercedes Constructors Championship since 2013. Yeah, it's going to look that way.
Yeah.
It'll most likely, odds are going to be for Ferrari or Red Bull. It really depends. Let's see. Scott Barnes says, Toronto is awesome. I love the IndyCar track, especially the kart champ cars days, but Lance I will be 100% honest. He's my favorite driver. Mentioned the reason why in Josh's 2020 Imola Cruel Room review. Interesting take. Yeah, Scott Barnes' favorite driver is Lance Stroll. Really interesting. Fun fact, though, Scott, the IndyCar track, I actually like it's obviously a street circuit, so I've driven on the parts of the road where the IndyCars race, and like you can see the curbing and stuff. It's really really cool. Also walked around it. It's called Exhibition Place. It's like an entertainment center, and it goes off onto Lakeshore Avenue, which a lot of people drive down to go to work, obviously, and it's like the heart of downtown Toronto.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've driven on sections of the track. It's really cool because like all the other roads in Toronto are really crap, and then you get onto like the racetrack section of Lakeshore, and it's like perfect asphalt laid down. Yeah, let's see. Morning, JW97's chatting to the Morning Yorkshireman. He says the tracks are usually half and half with real and fictional. Oh yeah, talking about Gran Turismo. Yeah. The fictional tracks in the newer games I don't like. Like for example, Dragon Trail. I'm not crazy for it. And like everybody else loves Dragon Trail in the newer Gran Turismo games. But yeah, like Tokyo 246 was great.
Yeah.
Some of the older Gran Turismo tracks were a lot better, but the newer fictional ones, yeah, they're just lackluster. I don't know. Maybe they don't hold nostalgic value for me. It's tough. Scott Barnes, Nick Latifi, he scored last year, and that's okay. But the dart to this year has been a disaster. Yeah, I agree, JW.
Yeah, the bit about me, the bit about me sandbagging, that was a reference to one of my previous Hookster talks when I was talking about Mercedes, and I said they were sandbagging. So obviously I was dead wrong there because they're not.
Oh, Nicola Fox is in the chat. Welcome to the chat.
Hello.
The Moaning Yorkshireman says Race Driver Grid has a fantastic damage model. You could break a steering arm and that was it. You were out. You couldn't drive. Yeah. You just had to sit at the side of the road and wait for the race to end in multiplayer. I've never played that game, but that sounds pretty crazy. Sounds pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it was. It's a great game. Hello, Nicola.
Oh, thanks, Matty D. Yeah, Matty D says, love your setup. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've even got my keyboard plugged in there working, so. But, yeah, anything else you want to say, Dave?
No, I think we just about covered everything. I'd like to thank you for being the guest this evening.
And yeah, it was everyone my pleasure. In the chat, it was fun talking.
And for everyone in the chat as well. Thanks to Maddie and Nicola and the Moan Yorkshireman and JW97. He also says they did. I did, Dave. I think he's talking about the damage. So, yeah, I thought I was right about GT5. Matthew D'Souza was in there as well. And I think that's everybody. Scott Barnes calls. Yeah, Scott Barnes. I'm just scrolling back up to see if I missed anyone. But no, I think we've got everyone. So there you go. We're almost out of time. Only sort of 5 minutes left remaining because I like to keep the stream to an hour and a half.
Yep.
Maybe you'd like to play a tune to sign us out, Dom. What about that? You got the keyboard right there.
Man.
Why not go for it?
Oh, geez, you're putting me on the spot.
Well, you've only got 4 minutes now, so you know.
Shoot. Let me see if I can whip up something.
Okay. We can hear it, by the way, so you're all right. Come on, right. you got 4 minutes now. 4 minutes, go.
So, yeah, you can hear all this, right, Dave?
I can hear it all, yep.
All right. Geez, I'm trying to think of a chord progression here. Dave's hook head is shiny and new. Wait, okay. Dave's hook head is shiny and new. I like talking F1 with you. Will Lewis Hamilton win? Or will he never see the podium? What else can I sing about? Oh, yeah. It's tough to be a Canadian. Oops. Especially if you're a Canadian F1 fan. I'm not a very good lyricist. But hopefully the next race at Australia will be fun. Oh, I'm getting away from TB too. That's great. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Dom. That was quite honestly the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm
Oh,
never
yeah,
going to
yeah,
get that
man.
1 minute back.
Yeah. Choking
But
on your own
but
saliva was a great hit
yeah,
from Dommy
but
TV. Yeah.
thanks for the effort. It was well worth it.
All right. Well,
All right then.
I'm gonna head out, Dave.
Yep, and
I'll
me.
let you sign off to your adoring fans
Yep,
all alone. But yeah, it's been a pleasure being on Hookster Talks.
no
Yeah,
problem.
I'll be around next week if you wanna
Okie dokie.
have some more conversations, and maybe we can do our predictions for Australia.
Okie dokie.
It's been a
No
while
problem.
since we've been there, so it's going to be pretty exciting.
Yes, of course, COVID stopped us for the last few years, so yeah, it will be pretty exciting to return to Australia. We're going to put another shrimp on the barbie, mate. Yeah, another shrimp on the Oh dear. Am I going to get in trouble for saying that? I don't know. I don't
I
really
don't think
care.
you will. You won't get in trouble with me.
That's good.
Have a good night, everybody. Moaning Yorkshireman, Nicola Fox, Matty D, Scott Barnes, JW97. I think that's everybody that was in here. Have a good evening, and happy April to everybody.
Yes, happy April to everybody. Now the gas and electric's gone up 54%. Well done.
All right, later.
Okay, thanks everyone. Bye bye. Okay, so that was Don. Thanks everyone for being in the chat tonight for another Hookster Talks from me and Mr. TB Bear. TB Bear. Look at the beautiful little face. Look at his little face. Look, hang on. We'll go. Let's go. Let's go Happy Bear and Angry Bear. Look. Angry Bear. Happy Bear. Angry Bear. Happy Bear. Oh dear. Anyway, thanks everyone. You've been awesome as always, and I will catch you in the next video. Try and stay safe and try not to worry about everything that's going on in the world right now, because basically there's nothing we can do about it anyway. So what's going to happen is what's going to happen. And do yourselves a favour and turn your thermostat down 1 degree, because that's going to save the planet by about 1%. So you're doing your bit. You're doing your bit. Well done. Anyway, thanks everyone. You've been awesome as always, and catch you again in another video. Thank you and good night. Bye bye, Josh. Bye bye. See you later. Bye bye.